Hello guys, welcome. This is Deepika from wealthandhealthmastery.com, and in today's video we are going to analyze the NVIDIA stock, where it all started, what do you think is going to be the growth of NVIDIA, and what it has done in the past 1 year. So we're going to take a look at all of this in this particular lecture. So let's get started. First of all, what does NVIDIA do? So NVIDIA designs and develops GPUs, which is nothing but graphics processing unit chips, and software for PC graphics, for video games, for AI, for machine learning, for AR, VR, and cryptocurrency mining. So all the new stuff, all the cool stuff, NVIDIA is involved in providing the chips to them. It doesn't matter if you're working with PCs, if you're working with video games, or if you're working with new technology used in refrigerators, washing machines, all of these places, these NVIDIA chips are being used. The company has played a pioneering role in the development of GPUs, the graphics processing units. It is a type of chip, or it's an electronic circuit which is capable of rendering graphics for display on electronic devices. So this is what NVIDIA does. Now, where did it all begin? So the NVIDIA was founded in the year 1993 by three folks. The chief executive officers were Jensen Huang, Chris Malachowski, and Curtis Priam. So these were the three main guys behind NVIDIA when it all began in 1993. And in 1999, January of 1999, this company went public. Within 6 years, this went public. And today is the company's GPUs power many of the world's fastest supercomputers, and all of these chips are being used by Microsoft, are being used by Google, are being used in Tesla cars and in Tesla solar panels. So it's being used everywhere. NVIDIA headquarters are located in Santa Clara, California. So that is about the history of NVIDIA. Now, who are all the competition of NVIDIA? Who are all the competitors of NVIDIA? So we have Intel is one of the competitors, AMD is another competitor, we have Broadcom, and we have MU. These are the competition of NVIDIA today, because all of these also dealing with chips. So these are the rivalries of NVIDIA. What is the performance of NVIDIA in 2024? So NVIDIA has gained almost about 170% year to date. Right now NVIDIA is a little down, so that's why the percentage has gone down, but it was almost up to 200% that NVIDIA has performed in the year 2024. So almost your money has been doubled if you have invested the money in the beginning of the year, and in June of 2024 this money would have already been doubled. So year to date is 200% almost. And if you look at 5 years, the 5-year performance is gained about 3,000%. So it has a gain of 3,000% from the last 5 years. If you have invested and holded the NVIDIA stock from the last 5 years, you are sitting on a big chunk of money right now. So it's very, very important to add this stock to the portfolio if you're looking for growth. If your portfolio is growth portfolio, and if you're looking for a growth stock, then NVIDIA is going to be a great addition to your portfolio. Now, what are the ratios? What does the ratios look like for NVIDIA? So the PE ratio, the profit to earnings ratio, is about 76.66, whereas the industry average is about 73.93. So it's not that far from industry average, even though it's high, but it's not far. So the PE ratio is a little bit on the higher side, but that is kind of okay because this is a growth stock. The price to sale, the TTM, the trailing 12 months, price to sale is about 40.94, whereas the industry is about 17.49, which is a little further from the industry, but it is a little volatile stock at the moment because it's as you can see here, the price to earnings ratio is very, very high. Price to cash flow is about 80 to 67, whereas the industry is about 40.66. Price to free cash flow is about 83.02, whereas the industry is 98.75. So it's closer to the industry average. Price to book is 66.45, whereas the industry is 22. And price to tangible book is 76.27, whereas the industry is 34.29. So it's a little far from what the industry average is, but still NVIDIA is one of the leading chip makers, and it is one of the premier companies to be invested in. So now let's look at the earnings for NVIDIA. In the last 4 quarters, NVIDIA has done very well. You can see here from April of 2024, it has beaten up the EPS by 10% almost, revenue by 6%. In January of 2024, it has beaten up by the EPS by 11.40%, whereas the revenue has beaten up by almost 8%. In October of 2023, the EPS is beaten by 18.73%, whereas revenue beat is also 12.47%. The numbers are looking very, very good. In July of 2023, EPS is beaten up by 29.35%, which is almost 30%, and revenue beat is about 21.87%. So this is the earnings from the last 4 quarters. Now let's look at the last quarter itself in detail. April of 2024, you can see here the revenue has increased 262%. Net income has increased by 628%. So you should have a lot of cash in your hand. NVIDIA has a lot of cash in the hand. Diluted EPS, it has gained about 650%, which is a lot. Net profit margin has gained 100%, which is almost double. Operating income has gained almost 700%, which is 690. And net change in cash has reduced a little bit, which is fine. And cost of revenue has increased by 121%. So these are the earnings of April 2024. So NVIDIA is an incredible growth stock. And what are the reasons for its growth? So it is going to be growing year over year for the next 5 to 10 years. So if you keep holding this stock for another 5 to 10 years, you're going to see tremendous growth in your portfolio. Now, first of all, look at the earnings growth and also the cash flow growth. The cash flow has increased year over year. The cash flow growth for NVIDIA is 300%, which is higher than many of its peers. And if you look at the earnings growth, the EPS growth rate for NVIDIA is 60%, which investors should actually focus on the projected growth. And the projected growth is expected to grow by 106% this year. So these are the 2 main reasons why you should invest in NVIDIA. First of all, the cash flow, it's huge, which is almost 300%. And the second is the earnings growth, which is also going to be by 100% this year. So these are the main reasons that you should be investing in NVIDIA. I am very firm believer of NVIDIA, and I've also invested very heavily in NVIDIA stock, and I'm fine with its ups and downs. And right now it's a little bit down, which is completely okay, because I'm going to hold this stock for a long time. Now, what are the news around NVIDIA right now? So the Foxconn announced its plans to build an advanced computing center in Taiwan using NVIDIA's Blackwell chips. So the Foxconn company is also using NVIDIA chips, and NVIDIA has teamed up with Foxconn to build data centers to expand into autonomous driving and electric vehicles market. So these are the future sectors and of growth that you can see. You're investing in the industry which is going to grow in the next coming years. AI is very big right now. AI is being used in, even if you're writing a text right these days, you can use things like OpenAI to write for you. You can use for creation of images, all of this. So Foxconn is one company that is going to partnership with NVIDIA and is going to use NVIDIA chips. Tesla currently uses NVIDIA chips. It plans to build their own chips in the future, but right now NVIDIA chips are being used in Tesla as well. How to get exposure to NVIDIA? So what all ETFs right now have exposure to NVIDIA? So a lot of semiconductor ETF that I've talked about. We have VanEck, which has performed 66% in this year. Then we have SOXQ, which is Invesco PHLX semiconductor ETF, which has gained 48%. You have iShares semiconductor ETF, which has gained 47% over the year. Then you have Strive US semiconductor ETF, which has gained 44%. And then you have First Trust NASDAQ semiconductor ETF, which has gained 42% over the year. So these are some of the ETFs which have gained exposure to NVIDIA. So if you invest in any of these ETFs, you automatically are investing in NVIDIA. They have certain shares of the ETF invested in NVIDIA stock. So if NVIDIA goes up, these ETFs gonna go up, and you are going to see growth in your portfolio. If the NVIDIA goes down, ETF will get reflected a little bit down, because ETF will have other companies also besides NVIDIA, and if other companies goes up, the ETFs is going to balance itself. So if you are a little skeptical about just investing in NVIDIA, you have the option to invest in these ETFs, and by investing in ETFs, you are going to reduce your risk, even though these ETFs are a little bit on the higher risk side, but you are going to have other companies in this ETFs as well. So when you're choosing these ETFs, do look at their expense ratio, and if a particular ETF usually are supposed to have less expense ratio, and hopefully these should have similar expense ratio. So look at them. Some of these ETFs also give you a dividend, so look at that as well before you make a decision. One of my favorite is VanEck semiconductor ETF, and I am invested in that. So far I've seen some profit in that ETF. So these are some of the ETFs that you can invest in, which will give you exposure to NVIDIA. So definitely my recommendation is to have some NVIDIA and hold it for next few years. Don't just buy and sell, hold it for next few years if you want to see huge returns in your portfolio. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you very much.